Hi guys. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Friendeavor. It has been a minute since we did this type of video. I myself have been so focused on getting the podcast up and running, getting that content available for you on this platform so that it is on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And yeah, it's been too long, so I'm back. If you've not had a chance to check out those videos, or if you prefer your podcasts, any of your home devices, Google, Amazon, anything, they're all available on there too. All the episodes are there. We are, at the time of this video dropping, we are on week 5, I believe. 5 episodes of the podcast have dropped. Much longer content, much more in depth, with my lovely co-host Kayla, my sister-in-law. So if you want to see that, check that out. All of it's also on YouTube. There might be some exclusive stuff coming up that you will only be able to find on the other platforms, so check that out. This week we're sticking with the theme of things being too long and so the past, and it's a stretch, but we'll get there. This week we're talking about how little pieces of you live in other people's minds. Now I know that's kind of a scary thought, because it's like, how do they think of me? Well, guess what? We're talking about that today. There are 3 categories that this falls into: the mundane, the positive, and the negative. Let's start with the mundane. For example, my security questions and that kind of stuff are filled with things from my past. People from my past who might not even remember me, or if they do, we have had zero contact in literally like a decade or over at this point, 15, middle school, high school, that kind of stuff, are still integrated into like security and stuff like that. Now I know you're thinking, Danielle, why are you telling us this for your security? Because every security question is ridiculous. Like, what was your first pet's middle name, weird stuff. So my point of saying that is that those people who might not even remember me were so integral to some part of my life that they are in my day-to-day security questions or password reset options or something like that, and I know you have them too. And it could blow those people in mind to think, wow, how does she even remember me? Because little pieces of those people live in my mind. And that's where we get into, I want to end on the positive note, so we're going to jump to the negative right now. That's where it's kind of hard to rectify when you have, you made mistakes, or like when you were 12 and just, I'm a 6th grade teacher now, so I'm around 11 and 12-year-olds every single day. I know what my 12-year-old self was like, and if that is the image that you have in my mind, first of all, I apologize. Second of all, the negative stuff that people remember you for in the past, if you are to cross paths with them in the future, that might be the only thing that they have to hold on to. That might be the only thing that they remember you by. And so they're getting to know a whole new person, but not only a whole new person, but you are disadvantaged because you have the job of recreating a new image in their mind of your current self. It's not fair. No, it's not fair, but since when has life been fair? So if you come across someone from your old life and they're like weird to you and whatever, it's because whatever image that you left, it doesn't matter if it was intentional or not, that's still the little piece of them that lives in their mind for you. Think about when you were in middle school or even elementary school on the playground and you said, "You're a big smelly head." Well, if you haven't seen that person in 10 years, guess what they probably remember of you, if they remember you at all? That you told them that they were a big smelly head. You could be a perfectly lovely, delightful person now, and it's the same thing. Like, you have an image of your childhood bully who is a perfectly delightful mother of 3, giver of the community, lover of life, influencer of humanity and the goodness of all things positive, but because she pulled your hair once in youth group, then that's all you could think of her as. My advice to you is learn the new person. And if you are the person who there's trying to get that image out of someone else's head, what is something that you can combat that? Should you bring it up? Should you acknowledge it? I would say no, because it was so long ago. The awkward thing is when people bring up stuff in the past as a negative, and it's very petty, and it's like they want you to atone for it, but it was like, seriously, you're holding on to that? If it was inconsequential, if it was like a serious offense, then yeah, you need to deal with it. But you just have to like, ha ha ha, laugh it off and move on. It's not a great feeling, but it could happen, so. Now let's move into the positive. You could have said something so inane in the past that stuck with someone, that you thought just something in passing. You weren't trying to give a pearl of wisdom, and yet that phrase that you said, that little inspirational message that you gave them, something that you said in passing could have been very impactful for them. You'll never know what kind of impact you truly leave on people's life, positive or negative, but if you just push out the positivity when you get a chance, there is a very solid chance that it will help affect someone's worldview in a positive way. And there are little pieces of you that live in other people's minds that is like the funniest moment of that person's life. It's something that you may have forgotten, but you're still bringing joy and you're still bringing laughter and you're still bringing connectivity, even though you don't even remember that exchange. That's how weird this concept is that this moment in time, this locked in era of your history is firmly alive in someone else's memory. People come up to me all the time and say like, oh yeah, I remember when you said this in 2014? No! And then they give me a rundown of everything that we said and what we did, and we're laughing. She's like, yeah, that was so funny. And I'm like, I'm so glad. But that also makes me think, what else do they remember that I said when I was not on my best behavior, or when I was mad, or when I was upset, or I didn't read the room? And it gets a little chaotic from there. All that to say, even in inconsequential times, be aware that anything that you say, anything that you do could have potentially a profound impact on someone. So make good choices. Say kind things. Go out of your way to be nice to people. Don't be abrasive to someone that you think, oh, I'll never see them again, because what if you do? And then you've made yourself be the image of a not great person in their mind. Danielle, do I have to be on all the time and be blah, 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 blah? Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, you don't have to be a clown show and comedian all the time and throwing out laughter left, right, and center, but be a kind person. You don't take a day off from that, because you never know how it's going to affect someone and what little piece of you, some history that you may have forgotten, will live in someone else's mind. Thank you so much for stopping back by Friendeavor. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast content. If you'd be so kind, leave us a rating, 5 stars, and a delightfully amazing review about how much you love Friendeavor. I would be so indebted. Please don't forget to subscribe. Friendship is a journey. It's an endeavor, and I will see you next time on Friendeavor.